Good morning. I am Sindhu S. Nair, trained graduate teacher, Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya, Kodagu, Karnataka. Just have a glance at the screen. You see four prominent figures, well known to all of us here on the screen. Have they become famous because of their physical abilities? No. They became famous because of their indomitable will. Today, we are here to learn about a little girl who too became self-confident and capable of standing against the odds just because of the confidence shaped in her by her teacher. Let's go to the lesson, Bholi, written by Mr. K.A. Abbas, a famous writer of Indian English. K.A. Abbas was a famous short story writer, film director, screenplay writer, and a journalist too. And all his characters are picked up from the normal life, many a times even below the normal expected levels, and they, with their indomitable will, become beacons of hope for many. Here we have our little girl Bholi with many physical deformities, no family support, no social standing, coming forth, just surprising the gathering to show how powerful she has become because of the education imparted to her. We speak about women empowerment, we speak about teaching the girl child, and we speak about the importance of education. And here is Bholi with us to show us how powerful a girl can be with education and the confidence she gains because of this education she gets. Let's see the lesson. I'll just first of all tell you the synopsis of the story. Bholi, in fact, named as Sulekha at her birth, was a very cute baby at her birth, a very fair and beautiful child. But at the age of 10 months, imagine, she was just 10 months old when she fell off the cot on her head, and as a result, a part of her brain was damaged. Due to this brain damage, she remained a backward child. Later, fate did not spare Bholi. It continued its game on her. She was a victim of the disease smallpox, and all of her body except her two bright eyes were covered by black pock marks. Thus, Bholi became physically as well as mentally deformed. Such a child in fact requires support. But in case of poor unfortunate Bholi, no such support was given. Her siblings made fun of her because first she did not talk, but at the age of 5 when she started talking, she stammered, and hence the siblings all mimicked her. Her parents, instead of suppressing the mimicking siblings, neglected Bholi, sidelined Bholi, never took care of her, did not even give her a good dress to wear. Thus Bholi grew. Neglected, sidelined, ignored, and thereby having a lot of inferiority complex within her. Fortunately for Bholi, a school for girls was opened in that village, and her father, who was the Nambredar, a revenue official of that village, was asked to send his daughters to school by the Tehsildar who had come there to inaugurate the school. The Tehsildar wanted Mr. Ramlal to be a model for all villagers, and Nambredar Ramlal had to accept his order. At night, Mr. Ramlal consulted his wife, who downrightly said no chance of sending our daughters to school, for no one would marry a girl who had gone to a school. No chance. But Namberdar Ramlal was helpless, for his superior officer, the Tehsildar, had asked him to send his daughters to school. Then the intelligent wife came forth with a proposal. Why couldn't they send Bholi to school? Anyway, Bholi, with her deformed body and brain, was not going to get a good marriage proposal at all. Thus, they decided to send Bholi to school to please the Tehsildar and to get rid of her nuisance at home during the daytime. One day morning, Bholi was called by her father and was asked to get ready to go to school. Bholi, who did not even know what a school was really worried. She immediately thought about the cow Lakshmi sold by her father some days ago. Lakshmi never returned home. She feared that she too would be turned out of her home like Lakshmi. And she said, no, I cannot. And Namberdar Ramlal just became furious, for the girl was refusing to go to a simple school. He could not understand the feelings of his daughter. Then he called his wife and said, give her a better dress to wear, bathe her and dress her properly so that people would not blame us. Thus Bholi was bathed, her matted and dry hair was oiled and combed. She was given a dress, though not new, but a better dress, which was handed down by Chamba, her sister, for the dress was shrunk. Then Bholi felt, okay, this is going to be a good place then, better than home, for she was given a better dress, her hair was combed, and she was feeling happy. Then with father she went to school, and there she found girls of her age sitting on the mat, squatting on the floor, learning from teachers. And suddenly a ray of hope entered into her head. One of these girls might become a friend for her. Remember, she had no friends at home, no loving siblings at home, and now she had a hope that she would get a friend. Then she was sent to a classroom where a lady teacher was teaching the children. She sat in a corner, but she could not understand anything, and she started looking around. She saw a classroom with different colored pictures on the walls, and she immediately began to associate the pictures with the things that she had seen. There was a cow like her Lakshmi, there was a black sheep, there was a parrot, and there was even a horse like the one on which the Tehsildar had come. Then when the teacher asked her name, she could not say properly. She just stammered bo, 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 and began to cry, for she knew that all the children around her would be laughing. Then the teacher left. When the bell rang, she did not go home. She sat there not knowing what to do next. And the teacher asked her near to her and asked her to say the name. Bholi wanted to say the name, but she could not say more than bo, bo, bo. And the teacher motivated her, and she could say her name completely. Then the teacher gave her a book with colorful pictures and asked her to come to school every day, and told her that once she completed reading that book, she would be given another book, and in due course she would be a very educated girl who would not be made fun of by others. Bholi was feeling really a bit confident there. Would it happen? Would people respect her too? And the teacher promised her that she would be able to stand in front of people and speak if she came. And Bholi began to go to school daily, and a new life began in front of Bholi. Bholi continued to be the same mute, dumb cow at home without talking to anyone, and no one bothered to see what change was happening within, and years passed by. See, K. Abbas very intelligently presents before us the changes and the change of time. The small village became a bigger village. There was a cinema theatre and everything was growing, and Bholi too was growing, developing. And one night, Bholi happened to listen to a conversation between her parents. Her father was asking whether they should go forth with the proposal of Mr. Bishambarnath, a grocer from another village. Mr. Bishambarnath was an aged person, a widower, whose children were almost grown up as Bholi. And Bholi's father was not so happy about the proposal. But Bholi's mother insisted that they should accept that proposal because there was no chance of Bholi getting a better one. Moreover, Bishambarnath was a wealthy grocer with a lot of money in the bank, a house of his own and a shop. Thus, she compelled her husband to accept the proposal, saying that age 40 years was not a great age for a man to marry. Thus, the marriage was fixed, and Bholi got ready for the marriage, and no one bothered to ask her, as her mother had already declared that what would that dumb cow say. On the day of the marriage, Bishambarnath came with a grand party, a big barat. He sat on a beautiful horse. Brass bands played famous musical tones, and they came. And Bholi's sisters were jealous of her, for she got such a beautiful wedding, a wealthy husband, and a rich arrangement for her marriage. Ramlal too was very happy, for he never expected such a grand wedding to happen for his dumb daughter. At the time of marriage, Bholi was brought, and her face was covered by her red veil. And Bishambarnath was not at all a young groom. He was a middle-aged man. He was not handsome. He was not physically fit even. He was a lame fellow. Still, the marriage proposal was made because he was rich. He was not asking any dowry, and the girl was having certain physical and mental deformities according to her parents. When the veil was pulled back so that the garland would be put around her neck, Bishambarnath saw the pockmarks, and the hands with the marigold garland remained in the air. He refused to put the garland around the girl's neck and told his friend, "Look, the girl has pockmarks on her face." But his friends were not having much problem about that and said that you are not young either. But Bishambarnath said, "No, if I have to marry this girl, her father should give me 5,000 rupees. Imagine, the man who came forth to marry without any demand for dowry is now asking for dowry. And Mr. Ramlal came forth and removed his turban, the symbol of his honor, and kept it at the feet of the bridegroom, pleaded, "Please, marry her." No. 5,000 or no. "I would give a little 2,000 rupees. Bishambarnath refused. "No chance. Out with 5,000 or I go back." And Ramlal had no other go. Tears rolling down his eyes, he went into the house, took the money and brought the bundles and kept at the feet of the groom. Bishambarnath was very happy and proud because he had won the gamble. It was an attempt to get some money out of her father's hands, and he had won. But when he was about to put the garland and lifted the garland, Bholi just stood up, took the garland, put it into the holy fire and said, "Pidaji, take back your money. I am not going to marry this lame old man." And everyone was thunderstruck. For the first time, a girl refuses to marry the boy on the wedding mandapa. And Ramlal was really shocked. He said, "What?" And very clearly Bholi said, in a very clear voice, in a very clear way, she said, without any tint of stammer, she said, "See, Pitaji, take back the money. For your result, I agree to marry this lame old man. But now this mean old lame fellow is demanding dowry, which I cannot accept. No, I won't marry this man. And Vishambarnath was really standing there like an idiot, not knowing what to do. There was only one way in front of him, to return. And all the ladies, especially, you just see, instead of giving support to a girl who is standing and fighting for her self-respect, all the ladies together began to criticize her. Look at her, how ugly and how selfishly she is speaking. And one grand lady, old lady, just said that we all thought that you were a dumb cow. And she said, yes, I was, but not now. Do you want me to speak more? And everyone had enough. Bishambarnath with his party left, and the band troupe, without knowing what to do, they thought the marriage function was over. With a comical nod, they just left. And almost all the people had gone. Bholi was standing there near the holy fire that had been prepared for the marriage. And Ramlal asked her, my dear Bholi, what am I supposed to do with her? And Sulekha. Not that. At that moment, once again she is called Sulekha, for she was no longer Bholi the simpleton. She had become the self-confident, courageous girl Sulekha, who can take a decision about her own life. She said, Pitaji, I shall look after you and mother in your old age. I shall be your protector. I shall be your helper. I shall be your servant. I shall be with you. What else? And I will get a job in the very same school where I studied. And the teacher standing there all the time, just watching how the child, shaped by her, molded by her, motivated by her, had achieved the expected result, came forth and said yes. And there was a smile of satisfaction on her face that every teacher feels when the students come forth in life, achieve something in life. Teacher, the role of teacher as a sculptor is complete there. And this is the story of Bholi, and we see many points to discuss here. The support of a family is essential for a child to develop. A teacher is very essential for the child to realize the goals in life if parents are not supporting. Teacher becomes the foster parent as well there. The need for education for women empowerment. You have heard the statement made by our Honorable Prime Minister, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, right? The only way to save our girl children is to teach them, empower them. Not by giving them money, not by giving them a good marriage, not by giving them dresses. You cannot save your girl children. We all should stand together to protect our girl children. Mr. K. Abbas is discussing many social evils here. Dowry system. Dowry system is the worst system that prevailed and prevails and should not prevail in future here in India. Second system that we find here is gender discrimination. See, Ramlal was sending his boys to schools and colleges in cities, whereas he was trying to find a suitable groom for each girl and marry them off. Are girls animals to be sent out of home when they become of an age of marriage? Isn't it the responsibility of every parent to see that both the children, boys as well as girls, achieve greatness in their life? Yes. So, in the next class, we are going to discuss the lesson along with the social evils, and we will be just doing certain activities as well. We will continue in the next class. Thank you.